Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and this is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting the cells and increasing the neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. You can order the Serious Minds Brain Tonic right here on www.debbiestrywellness.com and or text me 678-557-2919. Peace. Hold on one second. All right. Greetings, family. Greetings to everyone. Hold on for a second. Let me make sure we're good. Greetings. How's everyone doing? That light is bright. Hold on. Can I get this light out of my face? Hold on. All on. At least turn it down a little, angle it somewhere else. Let me just angle it somewhere else because that thing is bright. That's better. Got me looking like white chicks. Anyway, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone is doing all right. All right. Greetings. Interesting show tonight. Shout out to Kalaji Chabachanga. This is Professor Griff right here on the Black Power Media Reloaded. And the name of this show is the Masses, brought to you by Serious Minds, RNTV. All right. Thanks for joining me on a Friday. I don't normally come on a Friday, but I guess everybody's in the house recuperating from, filling their bellies on Thanksgiving, Indigenous Peoples Day, which I hope you observed the fact that there was a whole history prior to the land grabbing thieves that came along. All right. I'm talking about the indigenous people that was already here. Did we stop for a moment and give thanks to those black people that were here? All right. And then do we know and understand that particular history? I'm sure you do. I don't have to go over it. All right. In any event, hold on. Give me 1 second, fam. Give me 1 second. All on. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. I'm learning something new right now. I think it's at. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure. Let's see if that one works. Anyway, in the event, it's Professor Griff, and of course, this is On the Masses right here on Black Power Media Reloaded. I've been trying to send my guests the email, and it seemed like it keeps bouncing back, but in any event, we're going to move forward. So the purpose of this show tonight is we have a lecture coming up tomorrow, all right, at the Ominala Griot Teaching Museum, 337 Dargon Street, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30310. All right. Brought to you by our good sister Nisa Shabazz. If you want to reach Nisa, hold on for a second. All right. If you want to reach Nisa, you can reach Nisa at 678-748-9652. If you want to vend, all right, it's vending available. So if you want to vend, You can reach Nisa Shabazz at 678-748-9652. All right, the event tomorrow starts at 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. All right, so we're scheduling right now the talks from 3 to 4:30, I guess, to 6. And a few things in between. It's going to be some music, some food, some vendors are going to be there. And your brother, Professor Griff, is speaking on the death of Black music, the death of Black music. Once again, the death of Black music. All right. Then we're going to be talking about mental health. All right. I'm going to tie the two in together, Black music and mental health. My guests that are going to come on are going to explain what they're going to talk about, and we're going to kind of take it from there. So let me bring them on real quick and add them to the conversation. But we want to shout out Nisa Shabazz for putting this event together. And shout out to the brothers and sisters over there at the museum. I've spoke there several times. Beautiful place and beautiful people. All right, Miss Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Hello, guys. How you doing today?
We need to see some faces, some ashy elbows, some ankles, or something.
Look, I got on my work attire, guys.
It's all right. You are who you are. Come on.
Look, I'm snuggled up. It's cold outside. I'm sorry, y'all.
What kind of work do you do that you all snuggled up like that?
Security outside. We'll be outside all day.
Oh, woo! That's a hard job, sis. I've been doing security all my life, and I know what it's like. But listen, people just got to deal with us and accept us for who we are and where we are in life. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
All right. Obadina, what's happening with you?
Brother Griff, what's going on? How y'all feeling?
Trying to be like you, King. See, look at you. You're in a nice, cozy environment while we got the sister outside working security. You probably need a dog or a cart, vehicle or something, flashlight, something. Y'all ain't provide that?
Well, yeah, we that's why we have to practice group economics. Get us out that environment.
Okay. All right, cool. So this conversation tomorrow at the Griot Museum that we're going to have, it's the death of Black music, and we're going to be talking about the mental health crisis. And these two beautiful people that are in front of me right now are going to be leading the charge on that. And I'm just going to kind of bring up the rear. All right, no homo. I'm just saying. Yeah, don't take that the other way. I'm just saying. Let's be clear. All right. It's a discussion that I was talking to Nisa that needs to be had. I'm not one of them individuals saying nobody's talking about it, because that would be an absolute lie. There's billions of people on this planet, and I know at least 20 of them that's talking about this same subject in the way that they talk about it. All right. But I think people would want to come, show up, all right, and to tune in right now to hear what we have to say from our perspective. All right. So we're going to let Jalen Jackson go first. Tell the people who you are and what you do and what you're bringing to the conversation tomorrow.
My name is Jalen Jackson. I'm a 24-year-old single mom. 1,000%, everything is on my own. I'm touching points on being a single mom, not just Black mom, because single parents don't even have a race or, a color. Single parenting as well as mental health. I definitely would like to touch bases on both, because it's definitely not talked about enough, especially in this environment. And on top of being a single parent, it's very hard.
Have you ever heard of a program called Gangsta the Growers? No. That was a program that I was involved in, and contrary to popular belief, according to your last statement, we were talking about it. We actually had women in the program, and we was getting them assistance. You understand what I'm saying? Working them through that particular thing, setting up a support unit. So those conversations are being had, but we're going to circle back around to that. Obadina, talk to me, man. Introduce yourself to the people. Let the people know what you do.
How you doing? My name is Brother Obadina Ifadara Shamadamilare. I'm Awo Ifa, Awo Shango, priest of Egungun. I'm I'm also the regional chair of the New Black Panther Party in the Southeast region. I'm also a violence interrupter with the program Hope Hustlers, and I'm a K9 handler as well.
Oh, that's interesting, man. Very, very interesting. So tomorrow's discussion, we're going to be talking about the death of Black music and how it plays into the whole mental health crisis. In your own words and what you've experienced All right. Where do you see this mental crisis thing happening in the fields that y'all operate in? Whether it be a single
Um,
parent doing security, or whether it be Black Panther Party, or the areas in which you deal.
Mental health or mental health awareness is something that we deal with a lot, especially with the violence interrupter program. We offer counseling. A lot of kids and our participants, they have that, and from what I'm understanding and from what I've noticed, it's due to the cultural environment that they're brought up in.
Mm,
You can only expect so much out of a person when the culture is either based off survival, or if it's based off of an illusion of what they're supposed to be doing based off someone who gave them the blueprint for a culture that doesn't really fit what their destiny is.
mm,
So I look at it more so from the social spiritual perspective of how we got to this point and the ways that we can combat it.
okay. Okay. And Miss Jackson?
I definitely feel like we definitely need more opportunities, as well as more open doors for us single parents that do have to do 1,000% everything by ourselves. And as well as that, I feel like mental health affects you. It comes from a generation. So if a parent wasn't taught how to express themselves, how can they teach their children how to express themselves in a healthy way? So I definitely feel like that's definitely not talked about enough. And many of us don't realize that we have problems and need help before it's too late.
Mm. Where should we be having these conversations at? Because I've heard you mention that twice already. If we're not talking about it, where should we be talking about it at?
Home. It starts at home.
That's a good place to start. So, mental health crisis and a global surge in mental health conditions like depression, anxiety, marked by increased rates, especially among youth, leading to severe distress, inability to function, higher suicide risks. Um, yeah, they striking channels for that word. We're
Yeah.
just gonna say self-infliction risk, exacerbated by factors like the pandemic. They striking people's channel for that word. Systematic barriers and societal stress, with solutions involving public health approaches, better care. So, do you think the church should be involved? Do you think groups like Obadina? Do you think groups like the Black Panther Party should be involved as far as not only interrupting some of the violence that's going on? Issa Shah, what's good? All right. Do you think that these groups, what do you think these groups can do is what I'm asking. The groups that already have infrastructure and they're in place, all right, to um to be intermediaries in these kind of situations. All right.
Okay. Well, that's what we're working on now. That's part of the restructure. That's part of one of the 9 points that we cover.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be able to be honest about what happened and what we're experiencing. And I
Right.
think this situation is not really going to gain any legs unless the men of the culture take it as a personal priority to correct. When you outsource your when you outsource your internal expectations to someone who doesn't really care about your development, you're never really going to get what you need. They're always going to treat the symptom instead of the ailment. So institutions like the Panthers, institutions like Hope Hustlers, institutions like Gangsters to Growers, Chris 180, um, Grief Angels, Lesson Learned, that's what they specialize in. And it's going to be a grassroots thing. And it's going to be individual by individual, family by family, community by community, state by state basis. But I think this is if the men in the community took it on as a personal charge as part of the culture to examine the culture that they practice, then you'll have a better outcome for the people that they're responsible for. Well, one of my elders that I learned a lot from and taught me how to study and approach things, he always told us, he said, if you don't choose a culture, one will be chosen for you. So the people that's experiencing that, from my experience and from what I've gathered, you first have to take a look at what culture that you are currently participating in, and then what culture are you choosing to grow in. Is your culture
Okay.
given to you, or are you choosing it?
Right. I chose to tackle this particular issue of mental health through the lens of Black music. I think it plays
Mm-hmm.
a big part with young people. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start talking about culture, we can also add the subcultures. We get
Mm-hmm.
overall culture, your way of life, but the subcultures now. One of the
Yes.
subcultures is entertainment. And that
Mm-hmm.
idea of entertainment is steering a lot of our young people into these crises of mental health. I could run down the list, and I am tomorrow going to run down the list of people that either unalive themselves or have been taken out. You understand what I'm saying? And I think this is it's a
Mm-hmm.
major issue. You understand what I'm saying? It's a major issue that's going on in the subculture, not the overall culture of Black people, but the subculture of Black music. When we're talking about music and artists and other young people following these artists. So I'm tackling it through the area which I feel I know the best. All right. Do you feel you're doing that, Miss Jackson, in the same kind of way or whatever way you're doing it?
Yes. I feel like our brains, even if it's something that we watch or that we hear, it's taking all of that in, no matter if it's good or bad. So I definitely do feel like music, especially what's going in our ears, it does play a big part on how we move, how we
Mm-hmm.
act, and how we do go about things.
All right. So what degree, what amount, what percentage of music do you say has an effect on mental health?
I would definitely say over 80%, more than it should.
Wow. Why do you think that is?
Because a lot of young rappers, now I'm gonna use that as an example, they only talk
Uh-huh.
about gun violence and opioids and things of that nature. And a lot of kids, a lot of younger kids definitely do listen to that constantly. And they sing that and they take in that and they move that way.
Mm. So let me ask you something. So you mentioned gun violence. Was there gun violence before hip hop ever became hip hop?
Yes.
How was we dealing with it then? Not trying to put you on the spot.
It really wasn't no real solution to it because it's still happening. It's just worse.
So was it something that was set in place and in motion that led up to the crisis that we're seeing it at now?
The music definitely did intensify it. I would say
Right.
that.
So
It
the
definitely
ingredients were there, as
Yes.
Obadiah talked about, as far as what culture are they participating in.
Yes.
Because when I was coming up, my mom had me in programs when I was a teenager. My
Yes.
mom had me in martial arts. I was studying to be, to be a black belt. I was in the cadets. Um, I was junior FOI in the NOI. So yeah. So Obadina, you all right over there?
Yeah, I think the. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but we're getting a lot of static and a lot of noise from you over there. Sound like you're being kidnapped, man.
It's the
Santa
spirit,
Claus
man.
is coming to visit you. Anyway, so so you're right. The music, if you watch the trend and you do a chronological order of the kinds of music that was coming out,
Yes.
the music has been on a moralistic level. The music has been on a decline for a long, long, long time. And we can honestly say that. Um, so then, from where you're sitting, what do you think is one of the solutions to get it back on track? Because what if the music never gets better? What happens then?
Yeah, that's the real question. That's definitely the real question. Because now
So,
anything is considered music. Anything can
right,
get put on the radio in these days and time.
right. So you say you're a single mom, right?
Yes.
We don't know your circumstance and how you got to that point. We don't know. But there are a lot of women out there like you. All right.
Hmm.
What would you tell them in reference to keeping it together like Miss Jackson has it together, working a security job in the rain? You understand what I'm saying? Do you have a support unit?
Not really. Not really.
Not family, not an old grandma. You know the old
My
grandma normally let you go. Your grandma
my
still around?
grandmother, my grandmother, she does keep my child for me, and I'm grateful
Okay.
for her. Yes.
Okay. So other than grandma, do you have anyone else giving you any kind of assistance?
Truthfully, no.
Okay. So I'm asking you, how can we offset that? There's young women that's watching this right now that said, wow, I'm in Miss Jackson's position right now. What can I do to kind of not be there? Because I don't have a grandma.
Me personally, coming from me to anybody that needs to hear this, you will figure it out. No matter how hard it gets, your little tiny human always is depending on you. You're their hero. So you have to
Mm,
be strong for them and yourself. And keep your faith and know that you will make it through no matter who's not there or who is. I have
okay.
to tell myself the same thing every day.
How do you do it? How do you get up every day? Today was cold and wet outside. How did you manage as a young mom to get out there in the cold and in the rain and still work a security job?
I just feel like I definitely did have to get to a point where I have to keep it in my mind. If you don't do it, who will?
Yeah, because the
You
little one
are
got to
the
eat, right?
you are the first step person who can change your circumstances. If you can control it, change it. If it's out of your control, if you're religious, pray and give it to God.
Okay. So, are you aware that there are certain programs out that can help young women that are in the situation you in? Like the program I was involved in, Gangster the Growers. They helped young women, and they had, a list of people and organizations that could help. You are familiar with those, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Have you ever met other women that are in the same situation you're in?
That's well, they're all around 25 days a week. I mean 7 days a week. I meet
Mhm.
somebody like me every day.
Oh, wow. And what advice do you give them?
Keep faith in yourself.
Okay.
Don't give up on yourself. If you give up on
Right.
yourself, then everybody else falls behind that. So the main character of this is you. You have to
Right.
water you. You have to make sure you are okay before you can even be there to provide for your kid the way you need to and the way that you
Right.
want to. You
So,
lose you,
Obadiah,
everything else is chaotic.
right. Welcome back, good bro. So listen, man. So we were talking about what percentage of does music play in this whole idea of mental health? Does it cause it? Is it the result of it? Is it a solution to it? Like, where does music fall in? What role does music play in this?
It's a weapon. It's being used as a weapon against us. Um, One of the things, and I'm so glad that you are tackling it from this perspective, because one thing I was called out. We was doing a seminar with K Bang and his program from up north, from New York, and he called me out. He was like, "Okay, I see what you are." You know, he did the bio on me. He called me out. He was like, I need more out of you." And
He
throughout,
needs more out of you.
needs more out of me. He said, you need to stand up. You need to be the leader. You need to take this on." So I was called out, and what the call out made me do was be honest with myself about how I approach things. So I'm a spirit first person in a world where it's a money first world. And throughout my studies of, just studying with my elders, studying with my owls, studying with, my teachers, and taking what I studied and applying it to not only my own life, but just my personal experience dealing with the public at large. I did a lot of nightclub security, and this is so big coming from you because I'm not real versed on how the music industry actually works, but I see the byproducts of it. And when you start
Right.
looking at the music, you start looking at what the music is programming people to do. And what us diasporatic melanated people have to understand is that a lot of the things that are sacred to us were co-opted and bastardized and used against us. We are living in a simulated illusion where up is down, right is left, good is bad. So when it comes to our music, if you look at the change, it went from what this is my perspective from what I've seen, it went from being about soul, connectivity, message, inspiration, to reporting the problem in the ghetto, to glorifying the problem in the ghetto, to glorifying the drug dealer. Now, to glorifying the womanizer. Now you're glorifying the drug user, and the person that's being objected is now being glorified. All of these things produce something called loosh, which is harvestable energy that the system uses to keep our vibration and frequency down. And an example of that is, like you were saying earlier, the the focus is no longer on the talent of the musician, is no longer on the message of
Mhm.
the musician, but it's focused more so on the dysfunction of the performer. None of them play instruments. They sample everything, and none of them have any original thoughts. They're carbon copies of each other. So for me,
Right.
when it comes to music, music is being used as a hyper sigil to determine and dictate the listener's behavior to make them predictable. That's what I
Mm.
personally notice. So if you listen to
Yeah.
the music, the majority of the songs deal with a lot of the things that these particular spirits feed off of.
Okay.
Constant outrage, trauma, reliving traumatic experiences, constant conflict, fear, lust, all of those things, regardless of what spiritual system you subscribe to, they speak and warn against that. Now we're being told that these things are good. It's good to have no emotional control. It's good to be sexually irresponsible. It's good to be violent for no particular reason. So I think that's programming, and the behaviors of the individuals who consume it constantly, be it entertainment, be it going to sleep listening to it, background noise, be it social media, be it movies. It's not entertaining, it's indoctrinating to the point where people will watch stuff just because they don't agree with it. So
Okay.
I
So
think
let me
it's
ask you this. And
conditioning
so,
the subconscious of the listener to be violent and predictable, or be violent and predictable to the system that wants to profit off of their ignorance and incarceration, be it physical incarceration, social, financial, or spiritual incarceration, and they harvest that like livestock.
right. All right. So if that's the case, what is the solution?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, because we lost you. We can't see you. So yeah, I don't think you can hear me. I don't. Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah,
and I
it
think
definitely
and I think a
was.
lot of times it was good. It was a lot.
Yes,
It's a lot to take in. And I
I
think a lot of
definitely
times,
agree. I definitely
and I
agree
think a
with
lot of
what you're saying.
right, a lot of times with young people, when you lay it on that thick and heavy, you got to give it to them in sound bites. You got to give it to them in the way that I think they'll get it. I think
Yes.
they'll get that because the way he laid it out was very, yeah, it was good. But what is the solution to some of those things?
The solution is knowing your personal origin. It's all of the only way this works if you don't have knowledge of self and your origin. Are
Okay, so
you
hold on for a second. Hold on. Listen, hold on. Take a deep breath because you talk about young people now. Now, when you start talking about knowledge itself, young people don't have that just yet.
Mhm.
I don't know why it sounds like somebody kidnapping you over there, bro. For real. You having a rough time with that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So the question I was asking him, because a lot of times when we talk, if young people are here, we don't want to have the conversation up here where they don't get it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when we start talking and coming from a solution think orientation or perspective, I'm gonna say that again. Solution think. We have to think solution. And we have to give it to young people in small, short, brief sound bites because we're coming off of the pandemic. And since the introduction of social media, they're sending a quick text, tweet, and it's that. They're not thinking deep and thinking long. So when we start talking about knowledge itself, young people don't necessarily have knowledge itself. The institutions and the organizations that are responsible for teaching and giving young people and walking them through this concept of knowledge itself are not in place anymore. All right. So we can't speak above their heads. We got to speak directly to what this thing is. So when we say they don't have knowledge itself, that's not their fault. Where are they going to get knowledge of self from?
Well, that's going to come from their community and their elders. It's knowledge itself as far as
Okay,
not so
Obadina,
much.
listen, bro, excuse me. You have to listen to what I'm saying, okay?
Mhm.
I know that may sound routine-ish to you, but listen to what I'm saying. That is not in place. You saying
Right.
elders
So,
in community like there's something in place. It ain't in place. Trust me,
well,
bro. It's not in place.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit because that's what the
Okay,
party's for.
please do. All right.
That's what the parties and these programs are for, and it's a new thing. Knowledge of self, not from the necessarily the perspective of just your lineage, but just what you are in general. I um I don't know if you're
Not from your
familiar with it.
lineage, but what you are in general.
Yes.
Okay.
So, do you remember the movie Jurassic Park? I think it was the first Jurassic World where they had the Indominus Rex. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, I'm not a Jurassic Park kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say.
Okay, so pretty. So
No.
what the story was, what the story was, they
Do
had
I
a
got to take out
genetically
a
mod.
violin? Because you sound like you about to give us this long, drawn out kind of.
I mean, yeah,
No, we don't. We
you
don't have
could, you
time.
could.
We don't wait. We don't have a lot of time like that. You can talk about that tomorrow, but right now we try to get to people. Make sure young people hear this, so we can give it to them and get them there, so we can speak directly to them. And I think not. I'm not directing this towards you. Us, those of us that are meeting young people where they are, we truly have to meet them where they are. If we start these long drawn out stories of once upon a time at the so and so, no. Young people need it quick. You understand what I'm saying? Because they off to the next thing. We got to get them, and with the small amount of time that we have their attention, we got to reach them on their level. If you follow what I'm saying, you sound like you seasoned. You sound like you know and understand your community. You adhere to what your elders teach you. You part of the party. You know the organization. Young people don't. So now you were about to say
That You can simplify it by just asking them, what are you? And gauge how you guide them off of what they say. Because they'll tell you who they are. They'll tell you what their name is. They'll tell you where they're from. But when you ask them something as simple as, what are you? They couldn't tell you. Or they identify with something that they've already heard before. So when you work with youth like that, from my experience, it's a way to get them to talk, and it's also a way to show that you're invested in their development by asking them something they're going to make them think, and be okay with them not being able to answer it right then. So
Okay.
we
and we're talking solution thing, right?
Yes, that's the first step. Is to provoke thought. The first step.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Is to provoke thought.
Yeah.
Have you the average urban child has never thought about what they are outside of what they identify and remember about themselves. So,
okay,
like, what are
educate me on what is the urban child? What is that?
Well, children children that are in hotspot areas that are known for poverty and gun violence. So, as a violence interrupter, we have
white kids are shooting up schools. Are those urban children?
If they're not in an urban area, then no. So suburban violence is different than urban violence because their attachment to the firearm is different. Canada has more guns per capita than the US, but you don't hear gun violence like we have it here. It's their association with the firearm. So when we start talking about these programs, like Gangsters to Growers, like Hope Hustlers, like Chris 180, they're centered around hotspots of urban environments where this gun violence takes place. Now, when you deal with mass shooters, that's a different type of psychology. But I can only speak to what I'm working with and what I have working knowledge about. So when you
I'm being educated about this particular thing right now because I've never heard that term, urban child. Okay.
Yes, children that are raised in an environment. Because they have a different set of problems than children who are raised in a rural environment or in a suburban environment or in a foreign environment where there's a mixed community. They have a different set of problems. So based off of what
and gun violence is not across the board?
It's definitely across the board, but I can only speak to what I have experience in. I couldn't tell you why little Johnny in Beverly Hills went and shot up his school. I don't deal with that. I deal with Daquan, who got caught with a gun at school and is about to get expelled, and we're trying to figure out why he has that gun, or why there was a shootout at this apartment complex that I'm working at. What caused that, and what was that about? So when you have experience with working in these urban environments, then you see the psychology and the reasoning for stuff is different. And as elders, we have to attack that. We have to see, what's causing this?
And that's how you guys develop your solutions?
Yes, sir. We have, based off their origins, we create something called an ISP, which is an individual support plan for their success. And we offer wraparound services. Yeah, we offer wraparound services to victims and perpetrators of gun violence. So not only do we go in and see what the problem is.
So you said the victims and the perpetrators?
Yes.
Both
the individuals that's the individuals that's committing the gun violence and the individuals who are victims of gun violence. So we go to both.
Okay.
Like what do you need to prevent this from happening? Because the whole goal of these violence interrupter programs is to prevent the recidivism rate and the hospital reentry rate. So we have violence interrupters in the hospital, we have violence interrupters in the city, in the community, and then we have violence interrupters in the schools. And we get our data.
Let me ask you something. So hold on, because that's a little bit deep. So are we getting to the root and the core of it? Because Daquan is not starting this. It's not starting with Daquan.
Yes.
Tay, Man, Peanut, Twan, and them, little Day. It ain't starting from them.
No.
So are we getting to the root of it?
Yes. In order to get to the root, you have to figure out why they did it. and then use that data,
Okay.
and you cross reference it with people who are also doing similar work. So
I
let's just
got you.
say that
So what did you come up? What did you got? What's the data? What did y'all come up with as far as a solution?
the data comes from the
And
hospital.
we no, not pardon me, not the solution, the cause of it.
Well, it comes from the intervention process. We listen to them and break down what led up to that part.
No. You misunderstood. Misunderstanding my question. I am talking about the cause, not what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
What is the cause of it that's causing Daquan to bring a gun to school? The cause, not Daquan, not Twan and them, not Peanut and Man. What's causing that?
The overall circle, it's coming from the lack of resources. When you look at it,
who's supposed to be providing the resources?
The
father.
parents.
The father
The
in the
parents?
community is supposed to do that. Yes. So if you have,
So-
let's just say Daquan got into a beef because he was selling weed at the wrong apartment complex to keep his lights on for his mother, got into a beef with the wrong people, got to a physical fight, got shot at. The people know where he go to school at. He has his brother with him. He has to walk his brother past these people he was just beefing with. The only thing that's keeping his brother alive is him and that firearm. So when you look at the origins of it, it's either usually going to be some type of economic situation or lack of it, or social belonging. They feel like this is what they have to do to live where they are. So it's one of the two things, but it's different.
Okay, so Daquan doesn't have. He's not in a situation where he control either of those things, because according to what Jackson told us, if there are programs and situations out there, a lot of the young women kind of like don't know, because it almost seems like in some instances young women get the brunt of it because Daquan has a mama. You understand what I'm saying? Daquan's mama or little sister or niece might get caught up in the crossfire.
Yes.
Daquan might even be 20-something year old with a baby.
You
understand what I'm saying? End up losing his life. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts, Miss Jackson?
It's crazy and unjust, to be honest. But that does play a role in what do you genuinely and mentally and physically want for yourself. How do you see yourself in the next 6 months to a year? That's up to you whether you want to choose a different path. When you know if you choose the right path, you're definitely going to get to higher levels in life. But if you choose the streets path, you know, okay, eventually it's either me or this.
Okay. Tomorrow, the death of black music, because we're going to add the music element in there, because we're going to figure out what kind of music is Daquan listening to in the environment that Daquan and his mama is in, that Daquan has to find a gun from somewhere because black people are not bringing the guns in, that he has to take a gun to school to deal with an economic, social situation where he feels he has to sell weed. This is a lot to pay for, keep the lights on. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So tomorrow at December 6th, tomorrow at the Ominala Griot Teaching Museum, 337 Dargon Street, Atlanta, Georgia. For vending, you can hit up Nisa Shabazz at 678. Hold on. 748-9652. Myself, Professor Griff. Baba. I didn't see the Baba part. I'm sorry, because you said you were a priest, right? In Ifa?
I'm an Awo, yes,
Ifa
sir.
priest?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. And Jalen Jackson. I definitely want to hear y'all's take. Yeah, we got 6 hours to put this down. I'm coming on at 6, whether y'all finish, there, show up or not. I don't care if you're eating a vegan meal or whatever. 6 o'clock roll around, Grip is speaking. You understand? I don't care if 2 people in the house or 200. All right? We have to do what we have to do. All right? Last question. What role does music play All right, this whole scheme of things in reference to mental health and the issues that we have to deal with in the Black community.
It can either be used as programming or liberation.
Okay, so then solution thing. I forgot to add that to the question. We're talking about what is the solution. How could we, someone said on Instagram, either music is a weapon or a tool. How do we teach Daquan, Tay and Man and Peanut and them to use music as a tool as opposed to using it as a weapon?
Are you using it to help inspire and create, or are you just being a carbon copy of something else for your own personal gain? That's how you can
so
tell.
Give me some of them songs that someone has used as a tool. Give me some of those songs. What are some of those artists? And I'm sure I see Miss Jackson smiling, so I know you got a couple on deck, right?
You got NBA YoungBoy. You got Megan Thee Stallion. You got.
Give me the positive songs. He said positive songs. People are using the songs as a tool.
Okay, Marvin Sapp, Kirk Franklin, gospel music, inspirational music, because that's personally I turn on my gospel music whenever I'm feeling crazy, and that does help me a lot. It definitely what I'm intaking in my ears. So.
And you think Day and Twan and Daquan can listen to some gospel music, it'll change their perspective, and after you listen to Marvin Sapp, you won't bring a gun to school? My mom was a Bible thumping mom of 13. It's Mighty Clouds of Joy, all of them singers from the Clark sisters, and yeah, I'm still toting my heat, man. My mom like, your mom was good. You all right? All right, we good? I'll see you later on. Yeah, nah. A gospel song ain't gonna do it for me, sis, but I'm just saying, I hear you, though. I hear you. Maybe some James Brown, Marvin Gaye, and some other stuff. I don't know about Al Green wouldn't do it for me. Sorry, Brother Sean. But Al Green not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it for me. So I understand what you're saying. We gotta rethink this thing, because if we're gonna meet young people where they are, we gotta know the music that they listening to and kind of like, listen, let's put that next to this and let's see what we can come up with. So I'm gonna talk about tomorrow. I'm gonna get into this whole idea of neuroplasticity. I know it sounds like a very deep and intricate word. It's really not. Redirecting and reprogram the neurological pathways. So even when we hear the negative stuff in the negative music, it won't necessarily affect us, because we're going to redirect some of that energy on a neurological level. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about Black people. We have this thing in music. There's a call and response. All right. Everybody say ho. We saying ho. You understand what I'm saying? We following the MC, the master of ceremony. You understand what I'm saying? He's guiding us along. So if young people don't even understand the aspects and the deeper aspects of why they're participating in a music that they have no knowledge of and no history of, we probably need to start there. And if they're listening to some of the people that you mentioned, maybe it's not a good thing. Not to disrespect those artists that you mentioned, but yeah, if it's not doing it for us, it's not doing it for us.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? So, Obina, what music, what artists, what are we talking about?
Depending on what you're working on. So just letting them know what the music does, like you said, what frequency does that particular sound or artist send you to? Like, give an example. John Coltrane, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley. A lot of their music couldn't be played on the radio because they couldn't chart it, because they purposely made it to raise your vibration. Bob Marley was the type of person where he said that his cure for the ills of the world is to positively inject positivity into people through the music. So have them focus on the message of the artist.
Okay, so did it need to be played on the radio then? Because the people that you mentioned were mega stars. Yes.
Be okay with that.
No, go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
Be okay with not being part of the in crowd. Listen to what raises your vibration, and always be aware of what of the message of the art form or the performer. And be honest with
Okay,
yourself about it.
okay. So because I haven't heard, I can't even remember even hearing, unless I was listening to a white station because I had a job with white people. I can't even remember hearing Jimi Hendrix on the radio.
Exactly.
But Jimi Hendrix is larger than life.
Yes.
Jimi Hendrix didn't necessarily find me. I found him in his music. And I think that's what Miss Jackson was alluding to by mentioning some of the artists. For some strange reason, that music is finding young people
Mm-hmm.
and molding and shaping the way they move in the hood.
Mm-hmm. I think it has a lot to do. I think it has a lot to do with what you had mentioned earlier with the neuroplasticity. It connects, it
Right.
reconnects aspects of their memory. It's calling out to them like, okay, this is a mimic. All of this is a mimic of something that you created. It goes back
Right.
to knowing what you are. You are a creator, not a copier.
Can we take it a little bit deeper?
Yes, sir.
You think people can really mimic Jimi Hendrix?
Yes. They can mimic.
Who and when? And when?
Me and you could do it right now, but that don't mean it'll have the same effect because it's a carbon copy.
You could do it right now, not me. That man was left-handed. You understand? He bought a guitar. Somebody gave him a guitar from the pawn shop, and he flipped it upside down. Didn't even restring it, but he reprogrammed his neurological pathways to play a right-handed guitar, left-handed, upside down, and was the greatest guitar player ever known to man in music. No, we can't do that, bro.
Yeah, we can. We can.
You know somebody, but your brother, Professor. I'm sorry. That is, that's
But that's the beauty of being a creator. You can mimic it, but it's not going to be the same. Just like you have Michael Jackson impersonators, they're mimicking him. They can never be that.
That's what I asked you. Could we?
Yeah, I can mimic Jimi Hendrix right now, but But the people who know the real Jimi Hendrix will know that I'm a fake. You get that? That's the whole point of the music, is to get them to mimic some and discourage them from putting their own divine spark into what they're doing. Focus more on the replica than the real thing, and it plays out in their life.
Okay.
That's why they mimic what they think rich rappers do with fake jewelry. You don't know it's fake unless you've been around the real stuff.
All right. So let the people know how they can contact you, and I'm not sure if Nisa worked out a schedule for you guys tomorrow, but starting 3, maybe someone wants to come on at 3, someone wants to come on at 4:30. But like I told y'all, 6 o'clock, I'm on deck. All right. So let the people know where they can contact you guys.
Sound good.
Can you let the people know where to contact you? Give me your website, your grandmama phone number, whatever, a beeper number, whatever.
Okay, my cell number is 770-706-6030. And I do have Instagram and Facebook. My Facebook name is Jalen Jackson. And
Thank you, Jalen Jackson. I really appreciate you. Baba,
thank you
talk to
for
us,
having
man.
me.
All right, you can reach me at hobbyack9@yahoo.com if you need any services as far as wraparound service for individuals who are victims or perpetrators of gun violence. You can reach my Instagram. You can DM me at BlackLion41. That's BLAQUELION 41 on Instagram. Or you can reach out to me on Facebook under Obadina Tucker for security services, for conflict intervention, for wraparound services, for counseling, for readings, anything like that, you can even call my phone, 615-720-4401 for more information.
Okay, cool. I really appreciate you, and I will see both of y'all tomorrow, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, give thanks, good bro. Take care, King.
All right, you too.
All right, peace, peace, peace. All right, that was Obadina and Jalen Jackson. We're all doing a lecture tomorrow. The death of black music and the crisis in mental health. Thanks to Nisa Shabazz for putting this on. Nisa is probably a 20-year-old, but a 20-year friend of mine. We fed the homeless together. We did countless number of lectures together, just work in the community. Definitely a good source, a good person to have in your corner. But anyway, in the event, thank y'all very much. Really appreciate y'all. I got 2 minutes on this thing. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. The lecture tomorrow is at, hold on, let me read you the flyer one more time. As they say, one more again. The death of black music and the crisis in mental health, the mental health crisis in the black family. All right, my sister Carla couldn't make it. I'm not sure what happened to Carla. But anyway, shout out to Carla. Carla couldn't make it. But anyway, it's December 6th, 2 to 8 p.m. That's the Ominala Griot Teaching Museum, 337 Dargon Street, Atlanta, Georgia. Once again, for vending, text, and or call Nisa Shabazz at 678-748-9652. All right. All right. Of course, y'all already know my phone number, 678-557-2919. I will see y'all tomorrow. Make sure y'all in the building. This is your brother, Professor Griff, right here on Arm the Masses, right here on Black Power Media Reloaded. All right. Thank y'all very much, everyone on Instagram. Thank you a few times. All right, for coming on and being a part of this program today. All right. My man Nick from the D. What's good with you, bro? Gerald, thank you very much. Troy, Alexis Littlejohn, thank you very much. Everybody that came on today, really appreciate y'all. All right, I will see y'all in the building tomorrow. If you know somebody in Atlanta, tell them to hit up Professor Griff, 678-557-2919 if they want to swing through tomorrow and check out the lecture. I'm letting y'all know. I always say, and y'all have heard me say this before, I have one mission: to fill that room up tomorrow or clear that motherfucker out. Plain and simple. No holds barred. I'm going for the juggler. You understand what I'm saying? Because it has to be said. All right? It has to be said. We're going to say it in a nice, polite way, but it has to be said. It just has to be said. All right? But yeah, so we're going to talk tomorrow. All right? All right, family. Love you all to life. This is Professor Griff. I will see everyone. Inshallah, I will see you tomorrow. All right? All right. Hold on for a second. Peace. Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff. I want to take this moment to thank everyone for supporting me in my efforts to raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into your higher self. Thank you very much in my efforts right here on Serious Minds RNTV and the masses. All power to all the people. Thank you very much. If you would like to continue supporting, and if you are a new listener, please support by giving your donations right here on my Cash App, $Professor Griff, and or go to www.professorgriff.me. Thank you very much. Peace. All power, all the people. Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff. I want to take this moment to thank everyone for supporting me in my efforts to raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into your higher self. Thank you very much in my efforts right here on Serious Minds RNTV and the masses. All power to all the people. Thank you very much. If you would like to continue supporting, and if you are a new listener, please support by giving your donations right here on my Cash App, $Professor Griff, and or go to www.professorgriff.me. Thank you very much. Peace. All power, all the people.